Maple TA Exam Review, Unit 3, question number 16. Solve the following independent system of equations. Ooh, like the previous one, we have some decimals in here, and I have a feeling that we might end up with some repeating ones. So I'm going to teach the trick again to get rid of the decimals, which makes this so much faster. So I'm going to take our system, both of them, and to get rid of the decimals, I'm going to find the largest number of decimals behind the digits behind the decimal, and then that tells me what I need to, how many spaces I need to move it, which tells me how many zeros I need to multiply everything by. So in this one, I see that all of these only have one decimal place. We'll work with that one later, which means to get rid of them, I only need to multiply everything here by 10. 1, 0 will be sufficient to move the decimal place on all of those. So using the distributive property, multiplying that in, it moves the decimal over on each of these, which makes it 49, 68, and 441. So I'm going to copy and paste this for the next step, and it just makes it a little faster. So we have 49, 68, and 41. If you're not comfortable doing that, feel free to leave the decimals in there, but as you work through it, use Microsoft Excel so that you can be as accurate as possible and not have any rounding errors. Okay, the next one, again, we are going to be multiplying this by something, but this one, since I have two decimals here, two decimal places, I need to multiply everything by 100 so that I can move this decimal over two place values. So doing that, since the 11 doesn't have a decimal, I will just move it over to, or multiplying it by 100 gives that 2 zeros at the end. So 2 zeros. This one, I move the decimal over two places, 1 and then one more gives me a 0, and moving the decimal over two places gives me 944. So now I can work with these two equations, which is nice since they don't have decimals. And doing substitution, we just get to pick one of these and solve for x or y. Since this one's here, I'm going to go ahead and just do this one and solve it for x. So we'll go down here, and to do that, we're going to add 68 to both sides. Move that over. There we go. So we're going to add 68 y and add 68y. And so on the left-hand side, negative 68y plus 68y is 0. So I'm left with 49x and 49x. And on the right-hand side, I have positive 68y minus 441. Okay, to continue solving for x, we need to divide every single term by 49. So we're going to, I'll show my second step here, or the next step. So we'll divide by 49. I'm going to try and keep that equal sign lined up. Divide by 49. Divide this one also by 49. And divide this one by 49. Okay, so on the left-hand side, I end up with 49 divided by 49 is 1. 1 times x is x. I'm going to leave it, there we go. And then we'll do, I'm going to leave these in fractions, just like we did on the previous example, to just be able to get rid of the fractions later by multiplying, and we'll multiply that out so that we don't have these repeating decimals. Okay, so we're going to take the other equation right here and substitute what we got in for x. And so I'm going to take this x and put in my parentheses, and inside those parentheses goes all of this. And we'll paste that in there. There we go. And then we're going to multiply in our 1,100 to both of these here. So I'm going to pull up Excel because we're going to need to do this over here. So we need equals 1100 times, let's do 68, and we get 7 74,800, and don't forget we're still over 49, and we have the y, and then we need to do the 1,100 also multiplied by 441, which gives me, I'm just going to copy and paste that. So copy, and this is negative, and paste this, and that is still also over 49, and then we have this minus 420y equals 944. Okay, so I'm going to, just like we did, get rid of all of the fractions here by multiplying everything by 49, because that's kind of silly to have all of these big fractions. So we're going to take this and multiply it all by 49. So 49 times that entire thing. And so multiplying it into here, it cancels out the 49, and multiplying it into here cancels out that 49. So I can just delete the denominators here. But multiplying it into the 420 does not get rid of anything, so we just need to do 420 times 49 equals 420 times 49, and that gives me, I'm just going to copy and paste again, that gives me 20,580 times y, or 80y, and then again multiplying 49 to 944 equals 944 times 49. These are bigger numbers, but so much nicer to not have to deal with those fractions. And it's up to you. If you would like to go ahead and keep track of all of those fractions and those repeating decimals, that's your up to you if you would like to do that. This way just seems a little faster since I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to combine my y's, 74,800 minus the 20,580, and since I have these over here, I can just cell reference. So I'm going to do equals this number minus the 20,000, and I'm going to copy and paste for here the tricks of the trade, y, and I still have my 485,100. So we're going to copy and paste that down here so I don't have to make sure that I don't have any typos. And that still equals the 46,256. There we go. And to continue solving for y, we're going to add this to both sides, the 485,000. We're going to add that to both sides. So add this so that it will go to 0 on the left-hand side, and then we're going to add it over here as well. And then I'm left with 54,220 y on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to add these two together, and I have them over here, so I can just add those together over here with my with Excel. Just double checking those are the two. I want to add this one and this one. So equals this plus this, and then I can just copy and paste that down here. Equals, and paste. And then to continue solving for y, we'll just divide everything by this 54,220. Divide by 54,220 on both sides. And then I'm going to use Excel for that as well. But on the left-hand side, that cancels each other out, or dividing it makes it 1, and 1 times y is y. So y equals this number divided by the 54,220. So we'll come here, and we want to divide this number. I have it here, and divide it by this number. So equals this number divided by this number equals 9.8. and we can put that in 9.8. Kind of made it nice. And because Excel did not go out any further, and I haven't formatted this cell to only show to the tenths, that's actually where it stops. Now, if we were doing this with all the decimals, you would need to use Excel to make sure that you're using the exact number without rounding, so that it won't get too messy. Now we're going to substitute that y in for this equation here that we solved for x. We'll go here, type in that 9.8, put in my parentheses first because that helps me remember whatever I'm substituting in goes here. And because we have Excel pulled up, I can just copy and paste this in over here. We'll do Control V to copy it or paste it in. I have to tell Excel that I want to multiply here and take out any of these spaces. It seems to throw Excel off sometimes, but I think everything else looks good. Okay, let's press enter, and this gives me x being 4.6. Oh, I should put an equal sign. There we go. And so I can put those in here for x is 4.6 and y is 9.8. And because the question was starting with decimals, the answer will also end with decimals. So that's another tip to follow, is if this is in decimals, your answer will be in decimals. If it's in fractions, then we're looking for fractions in the answer. All right, that's the end of question number 16.